welcome to the Aviation Barbecue. It's a pretty tricky time at the moment for a lot of people. People can't go out and get their fix of aviation unless you're in the military, of course, in which case you're hard working still. But for aviation enthusiasts, for air cadets, for a lot of people around the world, aviation is just not happening. It's ground to a halt at the moment. This is our little forum. We're combining barbecue and we're combining aviation talk. It's just a forum for a bit of chat, really, aviation chat.
Bring it on.
And because we're socially distancing at the moment, my partner in crime can't be here, so he's joining me on the laptop. Hi, Richard Cooper.
Hi, hello, mate. Looking forward to this evening and what you're going to cook up for us.
Well, tonight we're combining two things: aviation and barbecue. We're combining
Magic.
Wet burgers, which are essentially hamburgers cooked in barbecue sauce.
Don't play it down. These things are amazing.
Well, they're a thing of legend. They're a thing of legend.
They are.
Especially in the aviation, the air show community.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're combining Wet burgers with Top Gun. And why wouldn't you? You know, combining Top Gun and Wet burgers, I think that's, you know, it's potentially a match made in heaven. If we inspire some sort of Top Gun new event of barbecuing event, I think that'd be amazing. And in fact, it's
totally.
Because a lot of squadrons, military squadrons, when you go there, they've all got barbecues out the back.
Yeah.
They've all got barbecue tracks.
They all have.
Barbecuing and military aviation. And this isn't just going to be about military. It's going to be about whatever it needs to be about, whatever you want to talk about. But we're on to military tonight. And barbecuing and military aviation, they do go hand in hand, actually.
They really do. Yeah, it's absolutely synonymous with each other. It's a real bonding time as well, isn't it? And it's just something about meat and jets. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that, does it? And I love the way you've come up with the idea tonight of solving this entire world crisis that we're in by talking about fast jets and eating burgers. That's my place of heaven. So you reckon you cracked the secret sauce, yeah?
Well, one year I stood on the side. I kind of surreptitiously looked in from afar and watched someone preparing the sauce.
That's not weird.
And no, well, I was genuinely interested, and there was a real real need for this information.
Yeah.
And I saw Hunt's barbecue sauce, which we can't really get here in the UK. So I've got some other barbecue sauce here, and so a mixture of barbecue sauce and French's Mellow Yellow. That's
the one, is it?
So squirting over it, mix it up, and then chuck it on the grill in a little dish, and put the burgers in that, and it's just goodness. So
I remember you saying about that you'd seen what the sauce was and how excited we were that we'd sort of seen these. What it was, we'd cracked it, and then I remember going over to the States and finding Hunt's and trying it, but it wasn't quite there. So I reckon your addition of the French mustard is the one.
Well, let's get right into it. Let's talk about Top Gun. It's, for a lot of people, it's a movie. A lot of people, it's a new movie that's coming out. But obviously, the first one's over 30 years old.
Incredible.
But it's a real thing. Top Gun is a real thing. It's the US Navy Fighter Weapons School. And I've been lucky enough to go there and visit a couple of times in recent years. But it's last year was its 50th anniversary.
Wow.
So Top Gun's been around a long time, and it's done a lot of things.
Can you remember the first time you watched Top Gun 30 years ago?
I don't think it was 30 years ago, because I was probably a bit too young at the time, if I'm perfectly honest. I was 13 in 19. It was 86 it came out, wasn't it? I was 13 then, so I don't think I watched it just at the time. But yeah, I remember watching it, and I'm afraid the aviation kind of geek in me and the kind of went, maybe I was a little bit older when I watched it again in my 20s or something. Went, that looks a little, I'm not sure about that. But what a film. I mean, you got the Naval Fighter Weapons School in San Diego, Southern California. I mean, what a place. I just love the place at Miramar.
I remember it being absolutely blowing me away. That intro scene on the carrier. And the music, you just hear those bars and the music, and that's enough. You're there, you're in the mode.
Yeah.
And I mean, we both sat down with current fighter pilots, and just, it's incredible to hear them talk about how it was that film and that moment of watching that film that inspired them to become a pilot. I mean, that's incredible. I don't know whether there's many films out there. There will be some, of course, but I don't know whether there's many films out there that people can pin. I watched this film and then I chose to make a career out of it.
There's no two ways about it. It was amazing for US Navy recruitment, and probably recruitment across the military in terms of people becoming fast jet or military pilots. You're absolutely right. And from then, back then they had F-14s at Miramar, And then it's gone through a bit of an evolution since then. They got Hornets, the strike fighter, the FA-18, and that kind of turned it from an air-to-air, pure air-to-air fighter weapons school, which is how it started out in 1969 with F-4.
Why did it start?
So it started out essentially because of Vietnam. And in Vietnam, the US military, especially the F-4 guys, weren't getting the kill ratios that were expected.
Yeah.
So they wanted to stand up a fighter weapons school so they could train people in the art of dogfighting, essentially. And when Top Gun started at Miramar, it was a pretty small operation. A similar thing was going on with the US Air Force at Nellis as they set up Red Flag. But essentially, it was a dogfighting school, what they call BFM, Basic Fighter Maneuvers. And that was, to start with, it was about 1v1 dogfighting. So, if you got close together with an enemy jet, how are you going to fly your aeroplane in order to get the advantage so that you can get a kill, essentially?
Yeah.
So, old-fashioned dogfighting. And essentially, that's what they trained, because those skills had kind of lapsed because of the advent of missiles. And they thought, if you're shooting longer-range missiles, you're not going to need to dogfight anymore. Well, lo and behold, they got into
came unstuck,
and they had to do it. So there was skill fade there. So that's why Top Gun came about. The advent of the Hornet, the strike fighter, meant that they brought into it some multi-role. So as well as air-to-air, there was air-to-ground as well. So as well as the air-to-air. Then Top Gun moved. The Marine Corps moved into Miramar. Top Gun moved north up to Fallon, Naval Air Station Fallon, which is just to the east of Reno. Incredible place out in the desert in northern Nevada. There's steer skulls and tumbleweed and all that kind of thing. And when you go to Fallon, you're driving through the main gate. There's a camouflage RA-5 Vigilante sitting right there, and there's lots of aeroplanes, kind of old aircraft dotted around, painted up immaculately, and you kind of snake round various paths along past the big flight lines, and which are just typically teeming with Hornets these days.
Yeah. I remember the first time we went down there. Actually, it was early '90s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And the variety that was part of a carrier air wing then was astonishing, wasn't it? All those different types of aircraft there. But it's now although it's just as busy, it's now obviously a much more streamlined Navy force, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, the Navy's gone from lots of different types: S3 Vikings, the A6 Prowlers, F-14 Tomcats, and that's all been kind of distilled down to being essentially Hornets and EA-18G Growlers, Super Hornet Growlers. There's no C model Hornets left in the frontline fleet anymore with the Navy. There's one Marine Corps Charlie Hornet, which is about to do the last ever FA-18C cruise. Anyway, you go into Fallon, you drive down, and Top Gun is part of the Naval Aviation Warfighting Development Center. And that's got a range of buildings along, just step back from the flight line. You drive to the end, and at the end there's a low-lying building, kind of single-story, pretty nondescript building.
So no red carpet. This is Top Gun. No Hollywood lights.
No. The Top Gun sign is kind of about that big. It's just on the wall. It just has Top Dome, which is the E2 Hawkeye training equivalent. There's Seahawk, which is the same for the SH-60. There's Havoc, and there's Top Gun. And
what's Havoc?
Havoc is the EA-18G Growler equivalent, the electronic warfare equivalent. And so it's got a chain link fence around it with a gate and just one door, and you go in and there's a reception, and you never know really. It was Top Gun, and that's what Top Gun is all about. It's about, they play it down massively. This isn't Hollywood here. This is played down. This is quiet professionalism.
So why would you do that then? Why would you not shout about it? What's the difference there?
Mystique. The mystique of Top Gun. They love the mystique of Top Gun when you go there. They don't shout about it, and it's about the quiet professionalism, about getting on with it, about doing the mission and being the absolute best you can be. And it's a 13-week course. But it's still mainly an air-to-air course. I mean, they spend a lot of time doing BFM, basic fighter maneuvers. So a student will get selected, they'll go, and they'll join the course. I'd say 13 weeks. They'll start off with doing BFM, then they do some air-to-ground, and then they start going into division phase, or they do section and division phase. So then they'd say do 1v1, then they do 2v1, 2v2, then they do 4vx, however many. So 4 is division phase, 2 is section phase, and they have the single, the 1v1 BFM. Plus they do some air to ground, which is...
So they're after the cream of the cream to make it even better, right?
They're the top guys, and they're making them even better. That's what it's all about. And what happens is they'll do that first course, and then most of them, some of them go back out to the fleet, but most of them, a lot of them will be selected to stay on and become the Top Gun instructors. So they're the cadre of tomorrow that are leading it. They're kind of leading the Top Gun course. And within that, you get, it's a complex thing. It really is. Within that kind of cadre of instructors, the staff, as they call it, they've got various SMEs, subject matter experts, and they go through a really, really complex workup of becoming an instructor. There's pretty much another year, nearly 2 years of
I can believe it.
To become a high-end instructor. So they'll redo the whole course again. The instructors, they redo the course, but this time as an instructor, and you're being watched by somebody else. And the BFM, they can do multiple rides to get the BFM tuition right. And it's about, knowing all the angles, getting it absolutely perfect. It's just so complex. And then you've got a SME for each of the different things. So there's an air-to-air, there'll be an AIM-9 Sidewinder SME, there'll be an air-to-ground SME, there'll be a gunnery SME, there'll be...
Radar,
absolutely.
All that,
And to get that, you have to do a thing called a murder board. So actually,
sounds good. Interesting name.
One of my first impressions of going to Top Gun for real was that there's a lot of PowerPoint, and they do a lot of PowerPoint. There's a lot of presentations. It's all part of the overall thing, but basically, you do a set. You get your presentation on. Let's say it's AIM-9 Sidewinder. So you are the expert on AIM-9 Sidewinder, and you're moving in to take in from someone else's billet. So as you're working up to take that over, you get your presentation together. You become the expert. You go to talk to Raytheon. You talk to the other blokes. You talk to everyone you can, and you put together your presentation. And you do a set of pre-boards, which are essentially presentations that refine your presentation, your final thing. When they think you're ready for it, you do the murder board. And the murder board, the entire Top Gun staff sit in the auditorium, and you present to them.
That's pressure, dude.
I know, the whole lot. And I remember talking to
can you imagine?
Top Gun a couple of years ago, and he was he'd just taken over as CEO, and he was doing his murder board. And it's literally to the second. Like, you go, okay, you're going to walk in, you have 29 seconds, the music fades down, you do this, you press the button, it all works. Everything has to work absolutely to the second.
Yeah.
And you're in presenting. I think they do it. They're not allowed to look at their slides either. So they've got the slides behind them, and then they go,
that's a skill.
Slide, and the next bit comes up, and they talk through it. And
it'd take me a year just to do that bit.
I know. And oh, by the way, at the same time, they're learning how to do all be a BFM instructor, be a section
incredible,
a section instructor, or a division instructor. So there's a lot to it to be a Top Gun instructor. So the students will fly fleet jets. They'll bring a jet from their squadron. And they're not on the Top Gun ramp. They're down at the fleet ramp, down the other ramp.
Down the far left,
where the air wing would be. They're down. They're flying fleet jets, not special jets. The instructors, they walk out of the Top Gun building. They go through their hangar. They get dressed in there, and they go out on their line.
Yeah, they actually go through like the maintenance hangar to get onto the flight line, don't they?
They go through maintenance. They walk out the door. They walk out on the flight line. And they've got some...
They're all being saluted as they go through and everything. That's amazing.
No, they're not, because they're all contracted. No? No.
Oh, okay, yeah, of course. Yeah, right.
The maintenance is all run by DynCorp. So there's no...
there's no military in there for the support.
There's still some sirs going around, but there's a lot of bro. Bro is the word here. Bro. In Top Gun, they all call each other bro.
Okay.
Important point.
Yeah.
So you walk out on the flight line, and this is the kind of thing that you get presented with. Look at that F-16 and that Hornet.
Stunning. It's got to be about the best looking jets out there, haven't they? They're just gorgeous.
They look great. And it makes a difference. In a world of grey jets, a little bit of colour makes a massive, massive difference.
Yeah, as if Top Gun wasn't cool enough, right?
I know. Yeah, absolutely. So these are, this is what your kind of your Viper, those kind of guys. Back in the Top Gun movie, they were Aviation. And there were some F5s as well, which were the black MiG-28s. F5s. So there's still, the F5s are still there. They're with VFC-13, a reserve aggressor squadron, or adversary, I should say. In the Navy parlance, it's adversary. So the FC-13 are at Fallon, and they're also these jets that provide the adversaries as well. They're part of the Naval Aviation Warfighting Development Centre. So Nordic fly these, the Top Gun instructors and the strike instructors fly these. There's a way of telling the difference between the two. So this guy is a Top Gun instructor. That's the jet on the line. And I'll tell you in a second how you can tell it's a Top Gun instructor.
I reckon I know.
Well, there you go. There's a good shot. There's a shot to talk about it.
Green helmet, is that how you know? Because they're all wearing green bone domes, right?
They all wear the green helmet cover, but that applies to strike guys as well.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Yeah. The way you can tell a Top Gun instructor, and not only an instructor, the students will still be wearing their standard gear from their squadron they've come from.
Yeah.
Two things here: black boots. The US Navy guys normally wear brown boots and a pale blue T-shirt.
Gotcha.
That's how you tell a Top Gun guy. So let me just go through. There you go. There's a good shot. So that's the Top Gun building. They're walking out. Behind them is the Top Gun building. That's the entrance. They're walking out with their gear. They're going to go and step to the kit. They're going to get their kit on, their flying kit on. They'll go through maintenance, and then they'll walk out to the flight line.
And as you say, there's no red carpet there or anything. It's just straight into mission.
It's mission. This
all focused.
Working. It's
no distractions.
Environment. This is what it's about. It's their working environment. This isn't about. There's no kind of. There's no red carpets here. This is work. It's work thing, and it's about being the best you can be.
Oh, these are amazing shots. What were you in to shoot these?
So, in April of 2018, I went out to Fallon with the idea of doing a photo shoot for the 50th anniversary of Top Gun. And would you believe it? I mean, that time of year, the weather's usually amazing. They had terrible weather.
How did you manage that in Nevada?
I don't know. The day of the shoot, we only had one window. We had one go when they could do it. They had a 4-ship ready. They had it all set up, and the weather was horrible. And we were flying in a C-130, Hercules Air National Guard C-130, and the deal was essentially that they were getting training. They were getting training from Top Gun in the kind of slow mover intercept training. So Top Gun instructors were coming and intercepting the C-130, and then I got a window within that to open the back ramp up and have the fighters come up. The weather was just horrible, absolutely horrible. We did a bit of it and we came away. It was just really disappointing because I knew how good it could have been.
How good? You saw the potential in it. So was it easy getting the Air Force and the Navy to work together for that?
Very easy. Very easy. They both had training requirements that they wanted.
There you go.
Joining the dots up between those two guys, they were just amazing. All of them were brilliant. So they all wanted to do it, and it happened. It was about talking to the right people, obviously.
Always.
I distinctly remember though, as I was leaving after that visit, these things take an awfully long time to organise, and I remember leaving and just thinking, this could have been so much better. This is so disappointing. As I was leaving, I bumped into the CO and he said, "I'm sorry, the weather. I know what we could have done here. The weather was awful. We will redo this." And
that's so cool.
It took a year and a half, but we redid it. And that's not anyone's fault. It was just the schedules. Their scheduling is so busy. And getting the moons to align again took a year and a half. And in October last year, 2019, I went back and we did it again. And this is one of the shots. I mean, the jet, we got 4 jets, and I can't put the shot of the 4 jets up at the moment.
Why is that? Drum roll.
Because the 4 jets, it includes the movie jet. It includes the jet from the film.
Cool.
And we can't release.
That's embargoed, right?
Embargoed till the film's out. I mean, look at the weather. That's not April 2018, I can tell you. That is October 2019. It was just beautiful. And again, from the Air National Guard, C-130, just perfect. It's difficult. It was a C-130H, and actually the C-130... It's slow. It's still a fast airplane. However, the ramp speed, the open ramp speed on the H model is considerably slower than
absolutely
the J. So the J can fly faster with the ramp down. So you have to kind of put ramp halfway, just the top part up. So
extra few knots count, don't they, in that situation?
They just wouldn't be able to fly slow enough.
Yeah.
So you're on that part of the ramp. And the other thing about these is the exhaust efflux in the H. There's a lot of dark, dusty, sooty exhaust from the engines. So you kind of have to plan your shots in a very specific window, kind of here.
Yeah, it's like a cone, isn't it, out the back of the aircraft? Yeah.
So you have to get everything in that cone. Or if you want stuff higher, like sort of like this one is actually, you go into the turn. If you go into the turn, you move the cone up and you can get stuff like this shot here. So there's just a few little nuances of shooting out of a C-130.
Yep.
But you know, I love that shot. That's of the whole trip in October. I think that's probably my favorite.
That's your favourite,
yeah? Yeah, they were the first.
Done well.
So all the Top Gun flights are in daylight. There's no night flying in Top Gun.
Okay, yeah.
Daylight, but it means that they have to cram a lot in, especially in the kind of towards the winter months and the fall months, the autumn fall months. And so the first go was 7 a.m.
God.
And that was the first go, and that was a C model Hornet sitting on there, just waiting for his. That's the instructor sitting, waiting for his student to taxi down from the other pan.
Brilliant.
Night line. So yeah. Oh, what a place! What a place.
Yeah, it is. It's magic. It's magic. You produced a couple of articles to come out of this. Where did it go?
Top Gun is very, very hard to visit. It's as an aviation photojournalist to go into Top Gun is very difficult, and
it's the whole distraction thing again, isn't it? You know, they don't want to be looking after the likes of us. They've got this job to do, and it's so intense.
Yeah, it is. That's exactly right. And actually, I remember talking to the CO, and I've got video which we're going to show here in a couple of months' time. I sat down with the commanding officer of Top Gun, and we've got a complete interview with him. And he actually said, Discovery Channel hasn't been here. He said no one's been here.
That's cool. Man.
Okay. I
realize
how lucky we are to be here doing this right now. And he was just like, it was a massive privilege to go in there and sit with, I sat with the CO, and he had his leather-bound copy of the Alt Report up on the
nice.
Alt Report came out from Vietnam. It's the thing that triggered Top Gun, and that's on his wall. And we talked about all about Top Gun. So yeah, we'll be showing the full interview with Commander Myers, who's the current Top Gun CO. I will be showing that soon. I'm genuinely looking forward to the new movie. Actually, I really am. I think it's going to bring it. I mean, it does look a bit. The original one does look a bit dated now. This is going to bring it bang up to date. Now, there's some great bits. It's just I'd like to just look at a couple of bits in the trailers that are really interesting. The first one, obviously, it starts off with that low level dry lake bed. Now they flew that. They did that. They did it close. It was very close to Fallon that they did it. And they flew it multiple times. The guy, and he was down low in the dirt.
Incredible.
That's real. And there's the low level sequences. The cameras looking back in the face. I remember being out on the West Coast in March last year and seeing them testing the cameras in the back seat. So there's some shots of the jets with the cameras facing backwards into the back seat.
Yeah.
Some really.
They worked really hard on it, didn't they? There's no doubt about it. There's a lot gone into it.
I think it's the idea of getting you and putting you in the cockpit, what it really feels like. I think that's going to be something that's really, really special, something incredible to look forward to. There's some stuff. Obviously, there's a famous bit now of a secret
jet coming over the top.
Going past the guard shack. Now that was shot with a Hornet. They did that.
CGI stuff. That one.
That kind of thing. I mean, that's not CGI.
That's real. Yeah,
that's real. They've just overlaid that secret jet over the top of the Hornet. So they've done that.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating.
It really is. It really is.
I think the trailers have been interesting from the word go as well. I mean, I just remember seeing the first one and just the way, again, the opening bars that they put on it and just slowed it down slightly. I mean, it's just... It just takes you right back. It's that did it for me. They had that was really good.
Let's hope we can see it soon because they're still saying it's coming out on the schedule despite coronavirus and the current situation. Let's hope we can still see it soon. I don't know when we're going to see it, but it's going to be great. And it's what everyone needs. Everyone needs a bit of light relief from the doom and gloom that is going on at the moment.
That'd be something really good to look forward to, wouldn't it?
Definitely is, man.
All right. How's those burgers coming along?
They're just about ready.
Cool. Let's have it.
But hopefully we can do some more here, some more chat, get some guests in, bring it together. Aviation, barbecue. This is where it's going to be. So for now, I'm going to say cheers, man.
Oh, look at that. That's it. Bye.